Thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros. Always great to have you accompany. Another big week in sport, another big week locally in sport as well. Wheatwood Handicap this weekend. Toowoomba can't Pat O'Shea play at Toowoomba Guinea's first time in the spring. We'll talk a bit about that in our Southern Hotel shot clock. DDBBL action continues to heat up. We'll have a look at that. And our ITP Haines Wilson special guest, legendary Toowoomba sports figure, none other than Kenny Glover. He's going to join us on the show. That could be interesting as well. A bit of family rivalry in the DDBBL with Ken and his son Steve. So that could be interesting. So stay tuned. If you've got any questions for Ken, be watching, send them through to us as well. Footy finals just around the corner, both locally and nationally. We're almost towards the NBA finals overseas as well. What's happening? What's the best? What's the worst of the week? We'll find that out with the team, thanks to Hogans Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds. That's all coming up on this week's edition of the Semi-Pros. Stay with us.
Just about done, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up the Stower.
Another big week of the Semi-Pros. Plenty of things happening sports-wise, florally-wise, everything else. Steve Glover, whoa, background, where are you? High-rise.
Nah, I just got the green screen up, mate, and
Good.
Imported one in, so yeah.
Upmarket.
Nah, mate, getting a bit of vitamin D, a bit of colour on the skin before I come back and make debut this weekend in the DDBBL. So
Debut this weekend.
after what was an absolutely a monster of a weekend last weekend, we had I had a diamond saved up, but the Lord carving up the run scoring in the DDBBL. And he's
mate.
He's raised the bat. He's done it. He raised the bat. He last week, and he got off the mark. So I'll tell you what, to see.
Can't buy a run at the moment, mate. Can I? Come off two ducks and then come off two ducks and then run myself out for one. Good thinking, wasn't it? So, as they say, school's just around the corner. Hopefully, so see what happens.
So they tell me you ran yourself out. You didn't even have anyone else to blame on that one. Is that right?
No, no one else to blame, mate. Apparently, I found out afterwards. The boys said, "Yeah, you probably picked the wrong person to take a single on." I found that out pretty quickly. He got it in the hands and flicked them down, and I was on my bike. So
I don't know what boys you're talking about. Some of the boys I spoke to said looked like you were on a treadmill or running into a vicious headwind.
Oh, it could have been, mate. Could have been.
Both.
Could have been. I wouldn't have been. I took off for a quick single. Probably not as
On the old elliptical down at any time still.
Yeah.
Going anywhere. You're just not going anywhere.
Yeah. So, well, see what happens next round.
Yeah, keen. Looking forward to it. Joel, how are you? What's going on in your world? We've lost him. We've lost audio. Can anyone else hear Joel, or is it just me?
No, he's miming at the moment, Joel. Can anyone? Yes.
Yeah, he's gone. He's back. He'll be back. So
no one really wanted to hear what he had to say anyway. So.
no, I don't think so. You're probably right. Bit happening this week, though. Actually, first of all, Bubs, go back last week. The indoor boys. We had Lyle on the show. Obviously, how'd they go?
Yeah, they went down. We were talking about. We thought it'd be a tough game for them, but mind you, they kept them to Strathpine to 90. So they're in with the show, but the Strathpine boys come out, led by Cameron Boyce and Chris Boyce, and kept the Toowoomba boys. So I think it was around 45, 50 odd. So yeah, they're the best team all year, undefeated. Pretty fair season to go through undefeated and get the final win as well. So, but no, to our boys, yeah, good season with a young squad, up and coming squad. So good things that come over the next few years, I think.
Oh, we look forward to that. You back with us, Joel?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Loud. Yep.
Yeah,
loud and all clear. How you going?
Oh, well.
What happened there?
It was a shame because I was chiming in with some real good comments too on the bubbler, but obviously well received given my My muteness.
You're back with us. Big weekend this weekend. Wheatwood, Toowoomba Cup, all the rest of it. It's all on this weekend. We'll talk about that in our shot clock segment. But, pretty exciting week. There were plenty happening out there at the Turf Club. Breakfast with the Stars earlier in the week. Barrier draw, Calcutta. All that's left now is the big race day.
Golf day.
So, golf day. Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up.
How'd you boys play?
Couple
No,
crooks.
Yeah,
Couple crooks.
K&R team.
Good on them.
I'm going to go check the invoices because I'm not sure they can count real good up there.
Who was actually in the K&R team? It was led by Nathan the Dugon Sazolka, wasn't it? Who else participated?
Ian.
Robbie Glover.
Ian Watson, yes.
Bubba's younger brother, Ian.
Must have been.
Yeah. And two other blokes, I don't know. Yeah, they're pretty red hot.
Not too good for us. Not far too good for us. All we won was the packet of chips and apple and sandwich you got at the start of the day.
Better than nothing.
There's another somber story for one of Toowoomba's most prolific horse owners, I suppose, Kim McCasker. He was a bit dirty a couple of years ago, and he's dirty again. He thought he did enough to win, and just couldn't get his nose down on the line. He's perennial bridesmaid there. So
yeah, and he's mentioned that a few times. He's not real happy about it. So, but yeah, you can't blame us this year. No, we actually seriously we didn't play too bad. We just missed a lot of putts, so can't win doing that. But anyway, we'll be back next year. We'll have another go. See how things work out. So it shouldn't be too bad. But as you said, we shape up to the next round of the DDBBL. Now, our special guest is going to join us after the break. Before we go to the break, though, so Steve, it is your father, Ken Glover. He's a member of the Aztecs, loving life, back involved. Seen him out there. He's got
it off there, and I tell you what, he's a bloke that's not missing too many putts at the moment. He's on fire. So he's winning competitions left, right, and centre. But yeah, no, he's loving life, back in it. Second year with the Aztecs, and I'll tell you what, they've put together a pretty formidable squad there. We played them on the weekend, the Blazers, and I reckon they'll be right there when the pointy end comes. So, we'll be able to shed some light on that.
Yeah, but no, one of the I guess when you hear the name Ken Glover in local sporting circle, well, everyone's either played cricket or something against him, or they were taught by him. That just sort of seems to be a rite of passage in Toowoomba. If you didn't play cricket with or against him, or golf, or were taught by him, it seems like you went from Toowoomba just about.
Must be pretty old.
Well, let's bring him on the show. We'll take a break. He is our Haines Wilson ITP special guest. He'll join us next on the Semi-Pros.
Hey guys, Cohen and Liam here from Haines Wilson, and today we're sitting with Steve from Paragon Homes and checking out the new display home at the Lees. Thanks for having us, mate.
No, mate, thanks for popping by.
Mate, I'm a big fan of Paragon. I love the stuff that you guys do. It's really unique, and sort of like I find like with our clients, they get it designed to their specific needs. Every build's different. I'm loving it.
Yeah, mate, exactly right. And really, we wanted to give more to our clients, and the process that I used when I built our house and land packages went through, designed a brief around what we're trying to create within the home, the feel, how it needed to function, the purpose of the home, to bring together a home which really tries to target what you're trying to get at the end of the day, and create a home that's more than just a couple of lines that's slapped on a plan, thrown on a block. Like, there's so much you can do when you build a home, and making sure you get that better result out of building a home at the end of the day. When you get the keys, you get that elation, you walk in the door, it's somewhere you just love to be.
Yeah, and it's just yours. It's totally different. Mate, love it. You're doing a good job, man. Really love it.
Very flash. Love it, mate.
Good work.
That's the Haines Wilson ITP boys continuously catching up with Steve at display home. Good to see the boys dropping in there. For Haines Wilson ITP Toowoomba, I think he's backstage, special guest joining us on the Semi-Pros. He's often been talked about on this show. He's often chimed in with a comment or two in the show. And here he is live on the show. Ken Glover, how are you?
Oh, I'm very good, thanks, James. Thanks for that unbelievable introduction. Yeah, can you hear that?
Yeah, I'm glad you like the introduction. That's great. Now, You going all right? The Aztecs involved?
Mate, we've had 2 games, one very close. I think it came down to the last ball, and we were lucky to get a boundary away and to win by 2 or 3. Being quite the opposite, had we played a.
Oh, booted him.
Kenny might be on my internet, is he?
Thanks for coming,
That was
Kenny.
good, Kenny. Thanks, mate.
It's terrific.
Kenny's still on the dial-up, isn't
He was-
He would be. We wouldn't have paid for the NBN, so.
Tell you what, he was happy. He was happy with the intro. That was one of the best responses I've ever got to an introduction. So I have to remember that. So, but anyway, he'll be back with us. He'll be back with us shortly. So he's second with the Aztecs. So
Here
we
he
might have
is.
him back. Is he back?
Yeah, don't know what. Yeah, no, we had a very close win on the first game, and last week, even though the game went into the last over, we still managed a victory. But the boys played very well the second game. Played very well the first game as well.
Mm.
So 2 for 2, but I think quite a few of the games are very close and could go either way. Hopefully,
2 from 2, Kenny. Good start. Do you put it down to putting the line through the 2 blokes up the top here, man, Steve? You got rid of us from last year, and things have just changed. You're on a winning streak.
As you know, Troy, I don't think we got rid of you at all. You were well and truly on our radar when we found that you were available for selection. And Steve was on our list as well, but both of you were taken before we got around to picking you. So, to rephrase what you said, we're happy with the team we got, but we certainly put a line through you 2 guys. Oh, Lee, how could you put a line through you?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
You'd have to miss out on that average of 0.33 for the season.
Yeah.
Unless he's got an average now, I suppose.
Steve's booted him at the right time there, has he?
Is that parting gift for Steve on the way out?
Yeah.
A little job in the gut.
How's the internet?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing there. You might have to, whether he's on the phone or jump on the computer. He needs a bit of technical assistance, though.
Robbie still living at home? Your brother Robbie's still at home? He might be downloading some Blue movies.
There he is.
I just got back from the dog park, so I'm on my own. I'm on my own for the moment. But I might have to try a different technique.
Hey, Kenny, just quickly, a couple of blokes in your squad. You picked up a couple of new fellas, the Sipple boys this year. Young Jared Sipple, from what we've seen, the bloke hits at an absolute mile. Can you give us a bit of insight into him, mate?
Yeah, I believe he plays first grade with West in Brisbane, so he's obviously out for our first game this week. It may even be the second game because I think it's a 50-over quarter final. I think the boys from Brisbane hung in, both he and Dan Brown. Look, when he came.
This is great.
Thanks, Kenny. Steve, can you just talk for your father? Tell us punting stories.
Some of them are legendary, seriously. But on that bloke you're talking about, Bubs, we've seen some unbelievable. He's obviously what he's done so far early in the season for the Aztecs.
Yeah, well, he came out that first game. I was talking to a few of the blokes. We were on the game beside, and we looked down. This at the moment he latched onto one of that sound of ball coming off Willow. Looked down, and she nearly landed in the car park at Captain Nicole Gate. She was a fair hit. Yeah, but the word around, he gives it a bit of a ride. We got another bloke in our team, Steve McGiffin from West as well, and we'd heard he gave a bit of a ride. Well, we were first hand at seeing that on Sunday in the second game. He got 60-something off 40 balls, and he was hitting these sixes, and they weren't going 10 metres over the boundary. They were landing 20, 30 metres over the boundary. He hit a ball as well.
Mm.
You're a bit of
Tell you
form
what,
cover, these blokes from Brizzy.
I was just starting to think I can probably work out why in his younger years Steve missed a few winners or something. The internet connection over there must be ordinary. You'd struggle to get one on.
Oh, it's in a black spot there. You'd think someone council would help him out over there at Darling Heights.
In the gully down there, mate.
Yeah, NBN's a federal issue, mate. So maybe bring that up with you. Maybe that's something you could really campaign for the next member of Groom. I'll give you their number.
Mm.
Are you with us, Ken, or what?
What are you doing now, Kenny? In the loo, are you?
Maybe you might have to go outside, Ken, if you can hear us. You might get better reception out there.
He's on the move. He's on the move, Kenny.
He's on. He's off.
I've got a fool's cap of questions for the great man as well. We're not going to get him in.
Well, the way we're going, we would have to line him up for
I've got plenty to ask him about back in the 80s and stuff.
We might have to do Kenny when we do a live studio viewing.
Yeah, mate. Seriously, like Steve doesn't say much about his dad, but Kenny's one of the all-time greats of Toowoomba cricket. Like what he's done. Everyone knows who Ken Glover is, and yeah, I want to have a chat to him about a few of these things. I know I'm on the side, but I've got a few other things I want to air with him. You know.
Well, we will do that if he doesn't sort out his internet stuff. We'll try and we might bring him back next week or something like that. We'll persist with it for a little while, see how we go, see what we can make happen here. So actually I was talking to Mark Roll the other day, another gentleman involved in obviously the DDBBL, and speaking on that topic, talking about Troy, and he said that Ken Glover was the best bowler that he ever faced, and he said he didn't face him in his prime.
So, I had a lot of people say that. Yeah, a lot of people say that Ken was the best bowler they faced, smartest bowler, had a bit of he got over you mentally as well.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to chat.
Yeah, he liked to chat. Well, that was back. That's what I want to talk. I want to talk to him about the DDBBL now, whether it could have worked in the 80s, because the club rivalry back in the 80s was fierce. There was hatred. Like I remember meeting Steve knows him, Crazy Ray Durate, for the first time. Never met the bloke before in my life, and he called me a Max maggot. That was the rivalry between the clubs. That's just the way it was. Viv's involved now too.
We should be right.
Sorry, lad.
Oh, here he is.
Here he goes. He's back.
Right on track.
You got it sorted, have you?
Haven't got that zone work
yet. Hopefully it'll stay with me. I have Wi-Fi.
Right. Well, Troy's got a fool's cap list of questions he wants to ask you.
Ken, I've got questions left, right, and centre here. The one I wanted to ask you, mate. Obviously, you were playing more so through the back in the 80s, when club rivalry was at its pretty biggest back then. Do you think the DDBBL could have worked back in the 80s?
Oh, I'm sure it would have. It would have been. I think it would work at any time. Like,
yeah,
it was a different form of cricket, obviously, but it's an exciting form of cricket too. The only thing that sort of matched that in the 70s, what they call double wicket cricket, and triple wicket cricket, which was a limited over stuff. I think we only faced. I think each bowler, if you played double wicket, you had to bowl 2 overs each, and you only had 2 batters. And if one got out, the other guy kept going until he got out, if he did get out. And that was only done as a promotional type thing, maybe once, twice, 3 times a year. I can remember playing in a triple wicket competition with 2 what I call legends of the game, Evil and Terry O'Connell. We went and played against all the teams from Brisbane, and we walked away with a victory in that. So it was about scoring runs quickly and trying to bowl reasonably tight 80s. I don't think it really took off too much. One-day cricket obviously started when World Series cricket sort of, well, for me anyway, just when one-day cricket came. We used to play one-day cricket as a lead-in to the actual two-day fixtures, the Chronicle Cup. And they had a special, I think they used to call it, you basically played the final of that before you started the two-day cricket. That would have been through the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, that was in the 90s too. We used to do that. You used to play a 40-over comp as a pre-season. Play the final, and then you got into the 2 days.
Yeah, before. Yeah, but nothing like playing with different people from different. As this the Bush Bash is sort of one of the main or one of the big interests, I think, for players to put their name down is to get a bit of a slot with guys that play in Brisbane, and with other, you might play against them, but it's not like playing a little bit because we were able to play the representative scene, but we played with the better players from the other clubs as well, and that was seeing these guys on a different light as well.
So, Kenny, what enticed you to get involved, or we've talked about this many times on the show, or just about the concept of the DDBBL, how it bridged a number of eras. It's seen a lot of people like yourself. So we've seen the Spanners, we've seen a number of other names of players, the Walls, the Riles, a lot of great names of Toowoomba cricket that have come back to be involved. How or why, or what got you involved in the DDBBL?
Well, it happened on my birthday, the first year, last year.
Do you want me to tell the story?
Go, yep.
Okay,
go.
so last year we got involved and we were talking, and I said to Ando, like Steve was involved, and I remember talking with Ando and saying, look, mate, I think you better have a good look at getting someone like Kenny involved. And Ando was like, Justin Anderson speaking about Ken Glover, mate, like he's his idol. Like, he looked up to Kenny coming through, and he jumped on it and got a hold of Ken, got him involved. And, mate, last year he was unbelievable having him involved. He loved it too. It got him back involved and got him going again. He can see he's loving it again this year. But, yeah, look, as you said before, you got him, you've got the Spanners, you've got Mark Ryle, you've got, Jeff Mays and Russell Dennis and all those type of blokes involved. So, great.
Seen some great names that have been involved in, and like we've talked about many times, that's been one of the great successes of it. And it's interesting to know, Bubs, as you mentioned, like the rivalry between clubs was probably different in that era than what it is now, and that's why I was interested in Kenny's answer to say, that would have worked back then. But
because you mix more now. Like you mix with the players. Like back in Ken's day would have been you through the rep cricket, you mixed a bit, but now you're mixing through club cricket. I mean, through rep cricket and plus through this as well. So you're getting to meet different blokes and blokes that you think, oh, mate's a bit of a tosser. You actually play cricket with him and you go, oh, he's not a bad bloke, actually. I don't mind the fella. So, you get to meet all these different people and play cricket. It's good. I think it's good for the local comps as well. It flows through into that. People knowing each other a bit better. And, I think it's good for the comp.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the exposure that's developed with it as well. So we might – this could be an interesting period. So what if we try and work on that can be your job, Steve, for the week. What if we work on getting Kenny more interneted up next week or something like that? Otherwise, we could be here a while. So,
it's going well, isn't it? So.
Steve's got waves to catch. Guys, he can't be doing this all right.
I thought it was a green screen. But no idea.
I can't know what he's going on there. But anyway, the elder generation and a few dramas.
Well, we will. We'll get him on. So let him know. Text me. I'll let him know. We'll organise something. We'll get him on the show next week because, as Bub said, he's got a lot of questions he'd like to ask him, or vice versa. In terms of a lot of people, I'm sure would like to.
Can we invite him around to one of our houses? Pick him up that way.
Maybe his son.
I'll bring him around. He can come around. Kenny, come around to my place for dinner next Thursday night, mate. We'll put you on and you'll do a couple of beers.
That's good. I'll just copy paste the post from last week. We're on again next week. So righto. So that's next week. We'll do that. We will take a break though. On the semi-pros, we'll come back. We'll have a look at our Southern Hotel shot clock.
At the Southern Hotel, our Sunday steak special has been so popular, we want to offer it on Saturday too. 180-gram rump mignon, 400-gram New York cut T-bone, or a huge 500-gram grain-fed rump, all for just $23.95. It's better at the Southern.
Southern Hotel shot clock. We'll have a look at a few topics here. Shane Mogg's not with us tonight. He's sent through a few tips though. So
He's got a house. What's he got a house to clean up? Has he?
He's got a dog problem again.
Now, what's he sent through here? He's tips for the weekend. Love You Lucy in the Wheatwood. And cheeky each way go on fighting Tio in the cup. Righto? So that's what so write them down. So that's what he's keen on. Southern Hotel. So Wheatwood is sold out this weekend. So you can go watch it all on the big screens down there at the Southern Hotel. So it'll be the next best place to be. All the footy finals or the last round of the footy that's on this weekend. Everything else that's happening in sport-wise, pop down to the Southern Hotel across this weekend. Plenty of visitors in town, so head out there, and that's a perfect place for you to go to the Southern. Boys, Wheatwood, Toowoomba Cup, Pat O'Shea Plate, Toowoomba Guineas. It's on this weekend. First time it's moved to the spring time slot, which, of course, was a controversial decision at the time, obviously, to move it from its traditional slot through until the spring. We see it continue its Metropolitan standalone status here as well. We see the addition of the Pat O'Shea Plate as well, which is also picks up Metropolitan status for the first time, also added to this bumper card. And it's been a pretty big week. As I said, it's tagging in as well with Carnival of Flowers as well. So, but what do you reckon? Springtime, Wheatwood, it's a bit different.
Very different.
It is different, but any time it's Wheatwood time is a pretty good time of year, isn't it? It used to be Christmas in April, and now it's Christmas in September. But looking forward to it. Should be a cracking day. Metro status back to where it was before this, but Metro status for a few other races that have been in addition. It's really, I suppose, brought together a lot of Toowoomba's, your prize races that Toowoomba hosts all into one day. So should be a good marquee event.
Yep, looking forward to all of that. Well, let's have a look at it, boys. What do you think? Wheatwood, find us a winner. What wins the Wheatwood 2020 come Saturday? Big field, capacity, emergencies, interesting race on paper. Joel, kick us off. What do you reckon? Southern Hotel shot clock. We're going to look at the big ones here. Wheatwood.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of speed on, that's for sure. I like the one. I like that the good speed horses are drawn down low, which is nice. You know, Mr. Marvelous and the Odyssey. I don't know. I reckon it'll be very hard to beat. Obviously, it opened up 310 out to 360, but I think whatever price it gets to, still have something on the Odyssey. From the 4 gate, probably should just boot up and lead. And obviously, there'll be a bit of speed from Fiery Heights, and Master Jamie have probably ridden forward to probably put the pressure on it. But it's a pretty tough horse, the Odyssey, and every time it sort of gets under pressure, it keeps finding and fighting. So. But locally, obviously, the ones that are trained on track have the advantage of being up the hill every morning and doing the work on the track, which I know James and a few of you say that the hill brings a few of the good horses undone. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with the Odyssey, but 360. Yeah, it certainly has. But I'll be sticking with the Odyssey. I think it's a pretty good horse. Obviously beat Alligator Blood last start, and from the good draw, hopefully just kicks up and leads and kicks away at the turn.
The Odyssey.
But have a
Steve.
little savour and love your Lucy. Obviously, it's been smacked in the punt, 17s into 7s.
Yeah. Steve?
Good race, and as Joel said, there's plenty of speed on, and I'm like Mr. Marbleuse from 1. Generally, when they're drawn out wide, those speed horses, they can just cruise out. It can tend to miss the kick, so if it's half a length short, it's going to have to work hard to kick up. It should be on like Donkey Kong here for the Charge of the Light Brigade for the first 200, and I'm pretty keen on finding one that'll just slot in midfield because they'll go that hard. I don't know whether they break up the field. The ones at the tail just get too far off and they'll have to get on their bikes pretty early up the hill. So I'd want to be something if you can sit probably midfield, 1 or 2 off the fence. Even if you're 3 wide with cover, I think it won't be a bad place to be. And I'm come down to Red Chase. It was massive. It took all before it last preparation, kept winning. It always showed promise. And from barrier 8, I think the speed will go on. It can slot in probably just behind the speed midfield, and I think, I think it'll show a bit of dash. I'm happy to be against a few of the favourites actually. The Odyssey, and as you said, it's brought some horses undone, and over the 1200, but you need a good strong 1400 horse. It hasn't won past 1200. Just Storm hasn't won past 1100. Like, it's in good form, but it just can't get the distance, and I don't think it's going to really be there on Saturday, but off a strong speed. So I'm happy to be with Red Chase there. I think it's about $9 or $10. So yeah, hopefully we're still kicking by that time, and we.
What do you reckon they should put the Wheatwood race 1?
Oh, well, they should. You're guaranteed to see it this year.
Geez, you're in good form last year. Wow.
You had the old sexy eyes on last year, I'll tell you.
He's a changed man this year, you'll be right. I agree with a lot of the things you said there, Steve. I'm not unusual for me though. I'm against a lot of the favourites as well. I'm not questioning the Odyssey in any way and its capabilities as a horse and that, but geez, 1200 up the hill. And it's just not going to be able to. I don't doubt it'll be getting a picnic in front like it did last week. The couple starts ago they're 1100, even though in theory up to the 12. So, but it's a good horse, so you can't really count it out. But be interesting. Troy, what do you make of the Wheatwood 2020?
As Steve was saying, I'm hoping Mr. Marbleuse isn't going to miss it by half a length. So I'm gonna go with Kevin Wheatwood Kent. I'm going to have I don't mind Mr. Marbleuse at the price, 14 to 1. It's trained at the track. It's had 4 starts for 3 wins here. Distance 9 for 4 and a couple of placings as well. I think it's had 3 starts in this prep. I'm just hoping that it's going to get away well. There's not going to be too much speed, as Steve was saying. There's going to be too much speed in it. And Kevin Wheatwood Kemp can grab another trophy would be lovely. So, I just like the odds. 14 to 1, I think it's not a bad price.
So you're with Kevin Wheatwood Kemp. Mr. Marbleuse, interesting, wasn't it? As emergency going back, I think, was it 2 years ago now, was the favourite in the race. First emergency, didn't gain a start. So,
I think it won 5 from 7 at that point, didn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, no, it was certainly making its way through the grades. And it said Kevin Wheatwood Kemp, they call him Wheatwood for a reason. He's won a number of them now. So can he add to that honour roll? He's the winningest trainer in the race's history. So he's got the formula. I'm with a bloke who's won everything bar a Wheatwood in his career, and I think that changes this year, and that's Tony Gollan. Tony, obviously formerly from Clifford Park, now obviously Queensland's number 1 trainer based out of Brisbane. He's been trying to win this race for quite some period of time. He's finished second a few times, second with Catalo, finished second with Cariad. This year, he brings a horse back, Happy, that was formerly trained here at Clifford Park, so previously with Ben Curry. So, it goes well up here on the track. And that's Snitch. Since it's been down there with Tony as well, it's won a couple of decent races as well at the Gold Coast. It goes well on this track. And the other big plus for me is it gets Bailey Notiff. I have no doubt he's the best jockey in Queensland. So, and he knows Clifford Park really well, obviously, as well. So being apprentice here too. So, and he's going to need to be at his best because it's got 16 gate. Obviously, it'll come in a few there with obviously the emergencies, and we'll see where that falls. So it's going to need a good ride. But as Steve said there, you might be a chance to be tracking up into this 3 wide. with some cover. Hopefully he gets in too wide with some cover, though, somewhere around the traps. But if you're going to want someone to be on your horse at the moment, I think Bailey Notiff's the right man. So it's had a couple of runs back this preparation. They've both been pretty good. So it'll peak third up. And as I said, it goes well here. And I think it's one of those ones that Steve's talking would love for it for drawing a gate. It's one of those ones that'll be just sitting there somewhere, I would think, midfield, and hopefully we'll see it come home. Best, everyone knows I love a super roughie. Well, that one's rough enough. It's sort of 20-1, I think. Snitch, I was surprised actually at the price. I reckon it's a far better chance than a 20-1, but it'll get mine or has mine. And the other one I want to back, if it gets a start at the 100-1, is the First Emergency in his stride for Rex Slip. Hard horse to catch. He's run obviously in a few Wheatwoods now, and he doesn't win out of turn. However, I think he's racing really well at the moment. He ran in that same race we're talking about previously, Alligator Blood. They ran home in 33. He was back right off them, hit the line okay. He'll handle Cliver Park quite well. Whilst he hasn't won here, I think he's won 3 seconds or something along those lines. You remember, this is a horse that was only just beaten in some pretty good races on the Gold Coast, like $1 million race of the Magic Millions behind the likes of Outback Barbie and Co. in races like that. It's won some open handicaps down at the Gold Coast, gets into the 54, meets a lot of those horses in that last race we're talking about with the Odyssey and Co. a lot better off at the weights. But and again, it's this sort of horse as well. If, as you said, Steve, if they go handlebars down, it's exactly what it wants, and it just might run a sneaky race and come home and give you a side at the old cricket score odds. So Snitch, best roughie, is in his stride. So there's our thoughts on the Wheatwood. What about the Cup? Toowoomba Cup is on this day as well. So it'll be, race 7. So it's the one prior. Joel, kick us off. What do you like in the Cup?
I actually like one of Chris Waller's in this. Luke Dittman riding for Waller Allwood. It's been 10s into 9s. Last start, Doomben of the 2000 run 5th to the stablemate, old Humboldt Current. If it was in it, it'd be the red-hot favourite, old Humboldt. A few unknowns, obviously. Coming along to the distance, the favourite there, Reckless Choice. Has it ever run the track? The trip, sorry, 2000? No, I don't think it has. So that'll be a bit of an unknown for it. As you said, up the hill. At least Allwood, it's going to run the trip. Be in behind the speed. $9. I think it's worth a bet.
Allwood. Steve, what do you like in the Cup?
I reckon you just stick your hand in your pocket, grab every cent you've got out of it, run up to the closest bookie and slam as much as you can on Reckless Choice. I think it was massive last start, up to the 2000. There's a Schwarzschier, but Schwarzschier is up to 2000. Wouldn't generally see it, but they'll ride it cold, slip it out the back from 15, and I tell you what, they'll track it up at the 800, and it'll be goodbye, good night, put the glasses down, whatever it is. This one's over. So at the 200, Reckless Choice. And I'll tell you what, if you've got a bit in your pockets, you'll end up with a lot more, or 3.3 times whatever you've got in your pockets after this one, and you'll have a pretty good bank to go into the Wheatwood. So just, I don't know.
I remember the last time Steve declared one like this in the Toowoomba Cup. Cylinder Beach. And that's exactly what we did. Went up to the closest bookie, me and Steve, and had everything we had in our pockets.
Yeah, $6.
Come to the turn. Honestly, come to the turn, and old S1 Glover over here. It was about 4 wide and about 3 off him, and he's just screaming, "It's home!" jumping around, and everyone's looking at him thinking, "What's he back?" Sure enough. So if you're listening, get on. Usually, when the glove declares one in the Toowoomba Cup, it's a good thing.
It's a good sign. So there we go. What do you like, Troy?
Yeah, I'm going to take something at a nice price as well in the Cup. I'm going to take Factory Warrior. Once again, trained at the track, 54 on it, 7 goes at the track for 5 wins and a couple of placings as well. I think Curry will have it sprightly, like he always has his runners. They'll be ready to roll. I don't mind the price of it, 17 and 5s. So we won't be having on the 5s, but we're having a crack at the 17s. So yeah, Factory Warrior.
Factory Warrior for Troy.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic. So what's that Marjorie Banks said? Kiss of death. I don't know who he's talking about, Steve or Troy or both or all of us. Probably fair comment actually. So, but anyway, we'll see where we land. I'm in the same corner as Joel and with Allwood, which frightens me because it hasn't won. I just looked this up while we were talking about it. I knew it was a while since it's won a race. It has not won a race since the 30th of November, 2019. It's just what you want, isn't it? So that's the last time this horse won a race. What year is it? 2020. So it's been a while between drinks for Allwood, and I actually didn't want to be on it, and I hope to find something else, to be honest. But I just think its form around the winter as well is really good. 2,000 metres up here won't be a drama. Dittman rides. It'll get the right sort of run into the race. It's form in the winter around the Chairmans and a couple of other races like that. It's really good. So just a little bit of a worry is that, it's been a long, well, there's been horses that had a longer period without winning, but still just a long time without a win is a concern. It might just have fallen into that non-winning category. So I hope that's certainly not the case. But around $9-10, whatever it was, I think as well is good value in a pretty open race. Is Reckless Choice favourite?
Yep. 360.
Yeah, 360. So might be a bit shorter after Steve's declared it along those lines. Righto. So I'll ask, does anyone like anything?
So Steve,
anyone like anything else on the card that they can steer us into? Actually, Troy, you can tell us about one. Let me see. I saw Paul Reedy up there, obviously at the barrier draw. Here runners. It's interesting to see a 2-year-old there in the K&R Plumbing Supplies. Paul Reed.
Yeah, he's got the alert and ready in the 2-year-old. He's been
half
Big
diplomat.
Reno is normally pretty boisterous about his horses. Hasn't said a lot about this one, which makes me think it could be a little sting on. The big fella's been pretty quiet about this one. So, and they backed it. It's in the 5s. No public trial. So, I'll be interested to see how it goes. What's that? Defcom, isn't it? I think.
Yep.
Yeah, Defcom and Plumage. So, he hasn't said a great deal about it. He said a while ago when he thought it was going to be all right. 2-year-old coming through. We're hopeful we're going to come up against each other. Obviously, mine and Steve's has gone out for a bit of a spell. Would have been a great day to give him a bit of windburn, but he hasn't said much. So I'm thinking it could be something on here. It's in the 5, 6 open $6.50 into $5. So
the next
like
captain.
this fly, you reckon?
Good luck to him. He deserves a big one, the big fella.
Yeah, so Pat O'Shea plate. So we'll just say as well, obviously named, of course, in Dad's honour. So obviously, as I've said a few times this week at different events with the Toowoomba Turf Club, it's a big honour for myself and my family. It's also a sad occasion, of course, as well. Anytime you've got a race named after someone or any event that's named after someone that's no longer here, but more so a sense of pride. So wonderful to see the race, of course, on Metropolitan Stage. And what I love, guys, it's been really touching actually since the inception of this race, the amount of local trainers, jockeys, owners that have said to me, I'd love to win your dad's race. So Paul Reedy's one of those, that falls into that category, and a number of other trainers, jockeys and that have sort of said that it's something they really wanted to win. So I think that's something really special to us. So to see it there on the Metropolitan Stage, I reckon Dad would be pretty chuffed to have that race named after him on the big stage. So good luck to all that are involved in it. I can tell you as well, for those that follow Racing Nation,
another avid listener too, I think he popped up here just before, is Chris Tato, who's got a little share in one there, Twilight Boom too. So I know he's got pretty much every limb that you can cross on your body. He's got that crossed in preparation and should run a show. So best of luck to Tatey as well. He couldn't carry us enough on the golf course on Mondays, but hopefully he gets some sort of silverware as a consolation for the Wheatwood week.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully he can collect something there as well. So he's been out there as well for all the barrier draws and everything that has there. So let's hope that races quite well for Tatey as well out there. So what's he said? So pick me, I would be happy to win it. Righto, I'm sure you would. That's all.
What are we backing in there, boys? Obviously Troy's on the boss's horse, but what are you boys on?
Oh, I've no idea. But the only thing I was going to add as well, just for those, is that Blair Gibson, obviously the most popular tipsters on Racing Nation. I spoke to him just this afternoon, actually recorded his segment that's up on, you can jump on Twitter and find it there on the SoundCloud page. He's tipped Mashani Operator. He thinks the two Mashani horses are the two to beat. So from the trials that he's seen down there. So they're the two that he's keen on. So he thinks Mashani Operator from, what's the other one? Is it Mashani Scandal or Mashani?
Mashani Scandal's favourite at 390.
But he likes Mashani Operator. Just
Operator at sixes.
So he's keen.
What else did he like on the card?
Oh, I just talked to him about the features. He was keen on put me on the spot. He was keen on Allwood, so that got me a little bit more excited when, as I said, because I think it's a non-winner, obviously. So, and he in the Wheatwood, he sort of thought the one Steve mentioned, Red Chase and Love You Lucy, he thought were the two leading contenders there for it. So that was what his thoughts were on the big one as well. So, but it's a good card. It's a good day of racing, actually. So looking forward to it. Golden Rose is on the day as well. So the other topic we talk about in Southern Hotel Shot Clock, Rothfire goes around, of course, in the Golden Rose. Taken all before it so far, this preparation. It'll start in the red to win the Golden Rose. Meets a lot of the same opposition from last time. Question, is it a foregone conclusion? Is Rothfire just wins or is it a risk? I'll start with you, Steve, because you've been right on the Rothfire bandwagon pretty much right from day one. You thought it could win a slipper. It's going down there, and obviously it's taken all before it so far, and it's 3-year-old preparation. What do you reckon? Just to sit, watch, just wins, or?
I think it just does win, and it's because it's just such a versatile horse. If they don't go hard, which they're probably not the speed that Farnham put into it, but Peltzer will go forward. It probably sits on its shoulder, and I think it just sprints too fast for him at the top of the turn. And like if it runs the same time as what it did, or gets home, or if they don't run that red hot time and they sit and sprint, like they just can't catch it. I don't think. And the way if they go hard and they try and race it, he sits off them. And tell you what, it's a good horse to have. Like it's not one of those blown out, needs luck, gets back and swoops home, or has to lead and get an easy time. So like I think it's just pretty much is flying the flag for the thriller from Chinchilla.
Right, Joel.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think that'll like Steve said, it can either lead him up if it gets around him, or just take a sit in behind him. And I don't know. I just can't see too many of them. Obviously, he was coming off a hot speed there last start, and Aidacare and North Pacific made obviously racing home from the back, and that was all when Rothfire was under a bit of pressure at the beginning, and well entitled to probably pop the balloon if it was going to give in, if behind that hot speed and carting the field into the race, but. Steps up to the 1400. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. They obviously know what they're doing. It's won at the 1400 before, so
he won Group 1. JJ Atkins at the 14, so that sort of defies that.
All the way. Yeah,
and it was first up too with bigger goals in mind. So Heathcote would have had a little bit of money in the bank too. He wouldn't have been wound right up to win the race the other day.
Wouldn't have screwed down. Yeah, that's right.
Good to see Queensland racing dominating Australia.
Screwed. In terms of getting ready for an Everest, is it screwed down for this weekend? You probably have to.
No, probably not. Yeah, well, what are they racing for? A couple million?
Something for the battlers.
Troy. Money.
Yeah.
Exactly what the boys said. I was listening to Heathcote on the Monday, and that's what he said. He said, got a bit more in the tank still. Jimmy said the last 50, it would kind of,
soft.
He had enough, but he said next one, he'll be fitter again. So it's pretty scary for the competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as the boys said, versatile, can win from any type of situation. So yeah, good for Queensland and Chinchilla. How good's that?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great story. Yeah, no, it's there. It'll get beat tomorrow. North Pacific will roll it. No, I hope so, but I don't think so. I'm on North Pacific at the 26s. So, but I don't think I've got much hope. So you don't get. Someone said you can't eat value, so I've got it on the right price. But it's going to it needs to probably improve. Well, there needs to be a 10-length swing for North Pacific to get it. I think North Pacific sat just on the tail of Rothfire, basically on that hot speed. Rothfire just dropped it. North Pacific or shouldn't say battled on, because obviously it ran well, but the other thing is it just left it standing. So
North Pacific could have gone past who was going to win this one.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Part into the race is what I'm getting at. Yeah, it was.
So I can't really unless.
Win this,
yeah, so no, I agree. Nothing further to add. Last question in Southern Hotel Shot Clock. Let's talk footy. There's been a bit of controversy this weekend, guys. Obviously, with obviously the makeup of the the finals is done. So there's a number of players, a number of clubs that have rested players. So when you talk about the amount of money that the television pays for the product, and they've got an inferior product. And I thought about this was similar. Remember the NBA for a while there? The NBA had a ruling there around when certain teams were resting players, saying you couldn't just rest them for no reason, particularly when they were showpiece national matches. Remember Greg Popovich did that for a while. He was just rested a couple of blokes and things like that on different games. So do you think, well, where do you sit with that? Do you think that the clubs have a right or are obliged to play their best players for the game, or do you think, well, it's a bit much for them to ask? It's at the end of the day they make the call. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's a reasonable position where they can rest players without any real reason besides thinking that they need a breather, or should they be obliged to play players because, again, as you said, just with the amount of money? I think I saw the article the other day, something like $2 million a week or something is generated from TV. The TV pays for the product. And the example that actually was used was, like, Steve, you talked about it last week with cricket. So with because of the Big Bash this year will have no imports, will it? Is that right? Something like that. So
yeah, none or limited, I'd say. Yeah,
none or limited. So Seven basically said, well, we're not paying the amount of money we've paid for the product because we're not getting the product. Yeah. So and that was sort of an example that was used there. So anyway, Keen, thoughts on the situation there? Should are clubs within their rights to do what they've done and just say, well, we'll sit out you, and you, or unless they actually have an injury or reason, do you think that they should be playing?
I think it's an absolute G up that they're talking about it. What if James Tedesco played this weekend and broke his leg? Where would that put the Roosters week one of the finals? I think they've earned the right to be able to be in cruise control club. You know what I mean? So if they've competed all season round to be in a finals position and not be affected by it in the last round, they should be able to do as they please. Nonetheless, these are professional athletes who are coming in and taking their spot. It's not like they're, bringing in mugs off the street to run around in the jersey. These guys are all banging the door down looking for a crack at first grade. So I've got no issues with them giving the younger fellas a go and giving the other fellas a spell just week out from the finals. Whether or not that's an advantage or not, having a spell, or whether you want to, fire and all cylinders going, if that's match fitness or whatever it may be going into week one of the finals. But that's the club's imperative to be able to do what they want, in my view. They've earned that right by winning all year round to get in this position they are. So play on.
Troy?
I'm the same as Joel. I think, they've earned their position. And it'll be a personal thing a lot of the time. I think the coach some blokes wouldn't want to rest, so they'll play this week, whereas others, like your older blokes like Smith and that, obviously it's only going to do them some good to have a week off and freshen up. And like saying about the product's going to be less, obviously it's going to be for that week, but you're going to get to see, you're going to get a sneak peek on blokes that are going to be coming through for the next few years. And probably giving those blokes that week or two break too is going to make the product better come finals as well. We're going to be fresh, ready to go, and crack into a final series. So, I've got no drama with it all.
Steve?
Yeah, mate, pretty much covered it all, I think. And, well, you said the Knights did it last week, and they knew they probably had a ball buster if they were going to match up with the Melbourne team at sort of head-to-head there, and they basically, once they tanked it, but through that game, they were happy to run around and be an also ran. There'd be a QRIC inquiry, a steward's inquiry if it was a horse race, I think. But, it's now coming up to the, I suppose, the pointy end of the season where you want to have all the superstars of the game at fresh and ready to fire, and it is the pinnacle of what they all aim for. So I'm happy for them to rest it. And as you say, it's an opportunity for some young guys, especially this year where I think I heard, who's resting 12 blokes? Is it the Storm? We've got 12 of their main 12 or 17 out. So, there's 4 fellas that have been training, and it is different this year, but haven't been able to play a game of footy. So in some sport, it's a bit of a reward for them for what they've sacrificed this year without having the New South Wales Cup or Q Cup or wherever they play. Yep. So, and they'll probably come out and put in more effort than what the guys would if they were going to protect themselves. So, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think it's a ludicrous argument, to be really honest. And imagine like at the start of the year as well, if the TV rights deal, they brokered some sort of agreement to say you can't rest a player without him actually being injured. I mean, there'd be an uproar. And I think of it the other way is around. So say if it's all about the TV product, to get that. So if you went to a TV executive and said, do you want to guarantee that they'll have their best 17 on the field for finals, semi-finals, grand final, or you want them to run around in a dead rubber? I think I know what the answer would be. So I think it's just a beat up, and it's a stupid argument. As you said, it's not a reality TV show. It's not a whilst it's a great product for TV. It's a sport. So coaches are going to rest players if they think it's going to give them a better chance to win the competition, aren't they? There'd be some there as well that would think, well, if I play these blokes this week, we're on tired legs already as is, so we're going to go try and get through another couple of weeks to lift the trophy. I think you know what you'd be doing. So yeah, I think it's a ridiculous argument. Anyway, that's our thought.
Haven't the Roosters been doing it all year anyway?
Yeah, well, exactly. I think it's just
the last 6-8 weeks, and have a look. I bet you they haven't had their full squad on the park at one time.
And it's the same as what Steve mentioned before. What they conveniently rested Ponga. What was it? 2 weeks ago? There wasn't sort of enough where he's got to play.
Smart management.
I think it's just obviously they've just got to the point where it's this last round, and all of a sudden there's all these top players and they're not playing. But I find it. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a beat up. But anyway, that's it.
Well, the AFL probably identified that, and now they've chucked the whole round in there to probably
exactly
give you a week off running into it, so everyone sort of does freshen up. Gets over it. So yeah. Whether that was one of the reasons behind what they did, but anyway, who knows?
He's just a bit late to the party here, but I see Rito Reed's just jumped onto the live feed here. We were talking about his horse and trying to get some info. He might chime in and let us know. The 2-year-old Troy reckons he knows nothing. He's been kept in the dark, but he probably didn't want to tell you anyway because he thought you had a horse in it. That's fair enough.
So, Troy's just unloaded anyway. Took the other prize anyway.
Well, here he goes. Eels only 4 wins away.
Wow, here we go. I've heard everything now.
He knows.
Look at yeah. The smile on Gold's ear to ear. He didn't think he'd say it. That's not what we were asking. Look at that. He's deflecting again, though. He's deflecting away from the horse. We didn't ask.
He is deflecting. He's been pretty shy about it.
But yeah,
would that be a year for the big fella if he could win?
He might have to wear the cargo pants on the weekend, Rito. He needs more pockets, I reckon.
Yeah. If he could win the Pat O'Shea and the Eels got up and won the premiership, geez.
Oh, and the Toowoomba Cup double. He's got one in there.
Yeah, everything happened. And then he win the lucky last.
Win his own race, the K&R race.
All into the Eels in 4 weeks' time.
I'll tell you what, I'd had to be playing a double header on Sunday.
Anyway. That's the Southern Hotel shot clock. We'll take a break. We'll have a look at Hogan's Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds when we come back, and we'll find you a winner or two to wrap up the show.
The process of making jewellery is all about precision and patience. When we're designing with a customer, as long as they give us really good feedback on what we're putting on paper, we generally work through it until we get to the point of what they're really looking for. We can keep changing the sketch. We can sit there for as long as we need to get that right. And that's what it's about, is getting the customer's design exactly how they want it before we go up there and make it. It's amazing as an artist to take a sketch that you've done with the customer and they've basically verbalised their thoughts and you've put it on paper and really super impress them with what you've come up with on paper. No, it's not impossible. We sit with customers as long as necessary to get the design perfect.
Hogan's Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds of the Week. Let's have a look at our Rocks of the Week. What do we got? Joel, what are you rocking this week?
I'm going to run with the NRL and their change of rules for the Who Cares Cup. Obviously, the Cowboys and the Bronx play tonight, and there's another game on the weekend. I can't think of who it is. Again, who cares?
Yeah, where they're trialling some new rules.
Mate, try it in pre-season. Like, this is still Like, there's still stuff to be won and had. You know what I mean? Like, these rules, it could affect the outcome of the old wooden spoon for Troy's team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Think like, this
Some
is not
interesting
like,
changes.
there's nothing to lose. Well, yes, there is. I don't know if I'm a real fan of it either. The old oh no, what's going on here?
Lost him.
You got me still?
Interesting changes.
Kenny, come back.
I'm back. He might have just sent me an email and just blinked me off. But yeah, no, the old only forwards can pack into scrums. How do you tell who's a forward this day and age anyway?
Exactly.
You know
That's what they're saying.
Like
Players come off.
more, for example. He played in the centre. He played the back row. He could play anywhere.
Exactly. Anyway, so
And
that's
then
so
there's
you said
you kick the ball out, then it's a tap. It's not a scrum.
Tap.
Like if you kick like a 40-20 and it goes over the 30, it's a scrum. It's a tap. So, you know, if you're deliberately trying to slow the game down because it's not, you know, it's fast enough as it is, you can't even get a breather.
Yeah, interesting.
Bit of the
Steve,
old
what do you got?
middle.
What are you going, Steve? Who are you?
Well, I'm going to run with it in the chat that us guys have got here. The message that popped up, one of the greatest cricketers to ever play the game for the Brisbane Heat, Ben Cutting, and I assumed he retired. So, you beauties, retirement, and this will come out. The Thunder picked him, so someone actually else wants him. And I was like, so the Thunder, they can be the rock of the week for picking Ben Cutting. Surely they've just got to let him go and sail into the sunset. Like the bloke
I thought he retired too. I didn't read it either.
The other day, but I think he I did read the story there, and he blew up the Heat because he wanted to open every game, and they didn't let him open. So, oh jeez, tell you what, Struth, the Thunder. What are you thinking?
The Thunder for picking up Ben Cutting.
Get down to the Gabba and pepper him. Not that he needs peppering, and you have to be pretty quick because he won't be out there long. But I hope he gets a bowl. That's the most entertaining thing watching Cutting playing is how he bowls in the death.
Troy, what do you got? Are you making your rock?
Yeah, I'm going to rock a cricketer as well. Live wire Lightning's Troy Gurski. He's averaging .33 at the moment, so three knocks in, can't get a run. So I'm going to rock myself this week. Number 2 pick needs to get a few performances on the board. So
if we go back to the
wrap,
well, this might have
maybe
been
a bit of what's that, mate?
If we go back to the tapes, this may have been predicted.
Good.
I'll give you an average of 3. So I'll tell you what, I've shot the mark.
Don't shoot off too early. Bit of criticism could spur him along, hopefully. So
I'm pretty happy. We're just about we're pretty close together on the aggregate runs for the DDBBL this year. So
yeah, you got 2 games to get past me this week. So
yeah, I know. I'll need probably 10 bats to get past 1. That's the problem.
Yes, I know. Yeah, teams going along well. Just need a few more runs from their top order.
The Lord.
Batsman Troy Gurski.
That's
you can't
first.
rock yourself. You can't rock anyone, can you? No?
That's the first rocking you.
You're trying the old reverse jinx, are you, Troy?
Phil Curry style.
I'm not stupid, Joel. Bit of criticism, bit of constructive criticism. Didn't hurt anyone, mate.
So you'll be out there in the weekend remembering that bloke on the semi-pros that rocked you when you were batting.
It's like the Jordan thing. Egg himself along a bit, you know? Yes.
See how it goes for you. Yeah.
Got the old team this week too. Got the old Aidacare team.
Aztecs.
Kenny's mob this Sunday.
Look forward to talking about that next week with Ken on the show, hopefully.
I should have got a word from Kenny while he was here.
We tried. So, jeez, all going wrong here. I'm rocking this week. You guys would have seen it. Just again, it's probably similar to the beat up around the resting players. Did you see? Actually, I saw Craig Bellamy. You would have seen the incident last week. So he's Cameron Smith scored a try. So they had their little bet going, whatever they've had, where they'd score more tries. So Bellamy's, done these ones, and and obviously he's offended some people, and he's had to come out and say that he apologised to anyone that he offended by it. Like, seriously?
should be a diamond as well. It was gold.
Exactly. Like it wasn't like so. What I was thinking about is like, so if he's going to do that, what about the amount of times they cross up to the box and everyone can lip read when a couple of the coaches are going off their head? All the players, and these days because not many crowd, you can actually hear them. Yet obviously someone somewhere or however it worked, but anyhow, Bellamy came out and said, "Look, I apologise if I offended anyone with my actions." And I thought,
madness,
crazy.
Fifth rib.
So, couldn't believe it. Diamond of the week, Hogans Family Jewelers. What are we rolling with, Joel?
I've got a little video actually.
Good.
Have a check this out. Greg Marzu from the Titans. He's got on the old bench during the week, and I had to look 3 times. I thought it was Steve Glover. At 190 kilos on the bench, and just boom, just a one big lift, and there you go. 190 kilo bench.
Didn't they go off too in that video?
What's club record or something, isn't it?
By about 40 kilos.
Was it?
Yeah, something like that. I think the last one was like 160, so maybe 30 kilos, yeah.
Still a fair amount.
Unbelievable. 190 kilos. Like the last time I saw someone try anything like that was that guy.
Mate, I used to see Justin Edeldark do that stuff, and it was one day he goes to me, Gurski, can give me a spot, and I looked over and went, he was obviously taking the piss, and he had about 240 kgs on this thing, and the bar was bending. It was ridiculous, eh?
You say, get another 3 blokes and we'll spot it.
Yeah. Good luck, champion. See you later.
So,
Greg Marzu from the Titans.
Mustn't have the video footage yet. Well, I'll see if mine comes up. So mine was, which is going to be ordinary if I don't have the vision because I don't know any of the names of them. Did you see this during the week? Actually, Steve might want to chime with this. So it was in a marathon. So there's 2 blokes that are going, they weren't far apart from each other anyway, and they're coming around the home turn, and one bloke's gone the wrong way, and so I'd nearly gone over a rail.
Was it marathon? Triathlon.
What I mean, sorry, triathlon. So they're coming into the home stretch.
Ironman.
So they're coming around the bend. So the bloke who's about to finish 3rd, he runs the wrong way around the bend, and I don't know. Steve tried to hurdle one of the gates, or
it's not that he's run the wrong way. He's forgot the indicator. He forgot to follow the track, and he's run into the fence. So like it's just. I don't know how he thought of where he was going or whatever. Yeah.
But anyway,
that's man. Shut the gate, he'll run out of the stadium.
Well, that's fair enough. But
he did.
Yeah, true. But I here we go. It's going to come up here. So the triathlon. So coming around the bend, there's old mate that we're talking about. He's gone. Yeah, as Steve said, he's failed to put the indicator on. He's worked it out. Old mate's just sort of cruised through Bradbury style. He's going to cruise to 3rd spot. They approach the finish line, and what's he do? He stops and lets old mate come through and said, "No, it's only fair and just because he was 3rd the whole way." I thought, yeah, good on him. Didn't have to do that. And the fact they clearly wasn't that far in front of him. He possibly could have overtaken him because
hot on heels.
Yeah, hot on his heels. But anyway, I thought show there a bit of sportsmanship. So he can get
rewarding stupidity.
Yeah.
Maybe, but good sportsmanship all the same. It's probably the message I'm trying to lead with there. So
yeah,
that Spaniard, he can get the diamond of the week. What do you got, Steve? Then
did someone diamond Tory Craig a few weeks ago?
No, might have been you. Well, go. You can do him again.
I was just laying down there on the beach there and daydreaming. Tory Craig watching the back end of the Nugs.
Yeah,
that was yesterday actually. But anyway, Tory Craig, the bloke who had his college career, didn't get drafted, come out to Australia and fight his trade out there in the pros over here with started off with Cairns, went around like he was a really good player over here, but he was not by no means dominant and didn't stand out. Went to the Bullets and played really well there. 2017, he was on the cusp. He was signed up to play with the Gold Coast Rollers in the QBL.
Yeah.
There and then basically from there he's got an opportunity to go and play Summer League, G League, or whatever they call it over in there with the Nuggets, and obviously he's just gone from strength to strength there, and started plenty of games last year. Started I think 11 games in their playoff run, but now he's I don't know if he's in the mix for 6th man of the year, but he's pretty important coming off it as a defensive player, and a lot of the tough task of trying to shut down LeBron, or not shut down, but you're able to limit what he can do. So, but for a bloke that I don't think you see too much of it. I suppose developed a bit later. He'd be late 20s, I think, 27, 28.
Yeah.
So to come on, great story and a great player. And a pretty good bloke too, from a lot of blokes that I've spoken around here that played with the Brisbane and down the coast and those sort of that were involved with him. He was pretty involved with the communities and those sort of things. So to see him over there, and it's a good story to follow. And I suppose Aussies will probably claim him. We're pretty quick to cling on to anybody that we can over there. And it'll be even greater to see him in an NBA Finals series in a couple of weeks. Cannot wait.
Nuggets in the heat. Who would have picked that?
I'll tell you what, they should be close to up 2-1. That crazy shot from AD.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah. So 2-1 there. And
LeBron James scream.
And then they're up 3-1, the other one, Miami. So that's the most – I don't know what odds they would have been to win the Eastern Conference. They haven't won it yet, obviously, but, I mean, they're well on their way, you'd think, at this stage. So, but anyway, we'll see how that all plays out. Troy, what are you?
We're going to go from a bloke who can't buy a run to a bloke who could probably lend the other fella a few runs. Lachlan Pfeffer. Lachlan Pfeffer is a bloke, played for down at Laidley, moved to Brizzy, and last year got a bit of a contract with the Bulls, bit of a backup keeper bat. Well, this bloke has come out of pre-season and he's smoking it. So he's come out first grade in Brizzy and hit, well, the last couple of weeks ago he hit 80-odd. He's come out last week, he hit 220 in a 50-over game. Backed it up this week and hit 140. And then on Sunday in the Bulls intra game between the Bulls squad, come out in another 100. So talk about some sublime form. The little fella from Laidley, he's smoking it, and he's going to put himself up there as, a chance of getting that Bulls spot as a keeper bat. Who knows? Putting those numbers up, he might get a contract with one of the T20 mobs as well. So just down the range. What's that, mate?
How old's he?
Lockie'd be early 20s, I would have thought. So another Laidley product. Anthony Wilson from the DDBBL last year, he came out and hit 150 not out on Saturday as well. So the Laidley boys producing some pretty fair cricketers in Brisbane at the moment.
Yeah, going great guns.
I've got another one just while we're on that topic of people smoking them. Old Ash Barty. See that during the last weekend? I think it was one of the Brookwater golf
club championship.
Yeah. Pretty good go. Obviously, her boyfriend Gaz is the trainee pro down there, Gary Kissick. But good going from Ash. While she got a bit of downtime, just swinging the sticks.
Yeah, talented, very, very talented. Yeah, there's quite a few nominations that could have popped up for Diamond of the Week this week as well. Righto, so let's wrap it up, guys. Hogans Family Jewelers winners for the week. So semi-pros, multi. What are we on? What are we going with? I'll kick us off. I'll tell you, I'm what I picked in the Wheatwood Snitch. Wheatwood Snitch, $21, whatever it is. There you go. They'll add some value to your multi.
Caulfield race 1, number 2. You go, Jake.
No, you're right.
What are you? Caulfield race 1, number 2?
How romantic. It's 340 to 290. Obviously, Mar Eustace over the 1100 has not been beat. 6 starts, 5 wins in its career. Only got beat over, I think it was 1400. Its only loss. Led and won. Last start, just needs to cross them. Lockie Newendorf takes 2 off. He just wins again, hopefully. 290.
How romantic, Stephen?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna back this one. It's in race 3 in Toowoomba. How does it get 52.5 kilos? 05 Glory. It'll scoot along. This has got form behind horses like the Odyssey and a lot better races. Comes into a very, 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 very winnable race, and 52.5 kilos. I don't understand how these weights work, but anyway, it's getting in good. 52.5. Taylor Marshall, Albert. It'll just, I don't know, $3.90.
52.5.
What they're telling me.
What is it? Set weights, conditions, or like a? It's not like weight.
I don't know. Like it's a. I honestly don't know, but unless the old Nedricks are doing me a disfavour here. The orange orangutans. Class 6 plate. Like, it gets in, it's got better form than these to start with. Like, it wouldn't look out of place with 59 in this race, and I just don't see how it gets 52.5. But it'll scoot the front area 4, get up there, and, yeah, hopefully that'll be a nice little kick start to early on in the day.
Yeah, Class 6 set weights. So it's a set weights race. So it's obviously a mare, filly. How old is it?
Might be a bloody hermaphrodite, by the way.
4-year-old bay mare, dude.
Well, there you go. So it picked up 354 grand. The Toppy Piracy won 300. So it's won 50 grand more prize money, and it gets 7 kilos off it. So.
Yeah. Mate, the orange orangutans wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd said that there's always those ones that beat the handicapper, and I'm bewildered.
Thrown in it.
No,
it's thrown in.
Yeah.
Righto, 05 Glory. Troy, what are you on?
I'm going to go the race after. So once you've collected on Steve's, throw it all along the actuary. It's been good. It's had 6 starts. Look, it's coming really well. Back to what a win in Brisbane. It was a decent race that won in Brisbane a while back. We're just come in and put them away. I like it. 270. We'll get some early money in Toowoomba, I reckon, this Saturday.
One for Brian Simpson. The
load up.
Bloodstock team. We'll get the money early and then we'll launch late. Righto. That's the semi-pros for this week. Yep. Enjoy Wheatwood, Toowoomba Cup, Aidacare Plate, everything that's happening this weekend. Get out and support some local sport. I think you went off a week early, I think, Steve. You did Super Saturday this weekend. Pretty short.
Yeah, Super
local rugby.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it wasn't too short. But down at Gold Park, so that'll be a cracking day. There'll be plenty of socially distanced supporters down there, so it should be a good day of footy.
Yep, so get out and support that. DDBBL, as you guys mentioned. So on Sunday this week, we're out at Highfields, yeah?
Yeah, get out and see Wheatwood. He's got 2 games on Sunday, 10 and 2. So
very
get out there and see him getting around the place. So they got 10. I think there's 4 teams with double headers, isn't there, this weekend, Steve, on Sunday?
Is there?
Yeah, there is, mate. You guys, I think Rob Scan, they got a double header.
Yeah, well, everyone has, because I think the last game's all just the singles. So.
Yeah, so we've got 4 teams with double headers. So you've got 2 games at 10, 2 at 2, and then the night game at 6.
So get out and support all the DDBBL and otherwise non-sport related. If you're across Toowoomba, get out last weekend of the Toowoomba Carnival of Flowers. Get out and have a look. If you're watching this on Thursday, not listening on Saturday, come up and see me. What's tomorrow? Friday night. We'll be up there, the Info Hub at Botanic Gardens. Jump on the Ferris wheel. Troy, you like Ferris wheels, so jump on. It's fantastic. Get a great bird's eye view of Toowoomba.
That's where you need to go and get a bit of luck, Troy.
What's that, mate?
You might need to go there and get a bit of luck. A few runs might come of it, eh?
Nothing about luck, mate.
Make your own, you reckon?
Yeah, but yeah, if you're in Toowoomba, that's happening across this weekend. We've had an amazing amount of visitors to the city actually this week. Incredible over the past 10 days. So Carnival weekend wraps up this weekend. So head out to any of our wonderful gardens. Have a look. 170,000 blooms planted right across there, looking fantastic. So wherever you go, have a look at that. So plenty happening across Toowoomba, the Garden City, florally, as well as with the ponies and all the sport. So get out and support our local community. Right, good luck on the weekend, guys. Troy, I hope you score a few runs. Steve, I hope you score a few as well. Joel, I hope you back a few winners, and we'll hope we all do that, actually. So, and we'll get Kenny on next week. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, let's get Kenny sorted, eh?
We'll get Kenny sorted, and we'll get him on next week because, I'd love for Troy to get his Fool's Cap questions. He might add a few to it too as we go. So, that's been the Semi-Pros. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Just about done, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. The Stower.